Hi guys, and welcome to solving a linear equation for the variable y. This is a really useful skill to be able to do. There are almost always problems like this on the ACT, and it's just something that can really help you when you're graphing things depending on the certain information that you're giving. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at what's going on here. So remember, of course, whenever we're solving equations, we want to think about what does that word solve mean. And what it always means is that you're getting some variable by itself on one side. Now, when you only have one variable, clearly that's what you're getting by itself. In these examples, you have two. You have both an x and a y, and so the problem will actually tell you which one. When we're talking about linear equations, you're almost always going to be asked to solve for y and not for x, just because of how it is useful in math to have that y solved for, because we use it in a couple of other formulas. Alright, so let's go ahead and look at number 1 here. So this is kind of one of the most simple cases that we can talk about. Remember, we want to get y by itself. So I'm going to go ahead and circle that y. And we're going to look at what is on the same side. The only thing that's on the same side is this y. Remember that the equal sign is what separates it, is just this minus 6x. And the way that we get rid of subtraction is by adding. So we are simply now going to add 6x to both sides of our equation. Alright, over here, this minus 6x and the plus 6x cancel out. So we come down and we just have that y left. So we're going to get that y equals, and now on this side you have 7 plus 6x. You cannot combine those because they're not like terms. This term has an x and this term doesn't. And so you simply write exactly what you have there, just that y equals 7 plus 6x. And that's your final answer because y is by itself. That's how you know when you have your answer, because y will be by itself. It's okay that x is in your answer. Don't worry about that. It's supposed to still be in your answer. So the final answer for number 1 is just that y equals 7 plus 6x. Let's look at number 2 now. We've got a little bit more going on here, but essentially we're doing the same thing, all right? So it's that y that we're solving for, so I'm going to go ahead and circle that y so that we know that that's what we are trying to get by itself on the side. So over here, the only thing that we had was we had something that was subtracted. All right, over here we have something that's added and something that's multiplied. So remember, when you're solving equations, just like you would no matter what your equation looked like, you're always going to get rid of addition and subtraction first. So we can't move this 2 yet because that 2 is multiplied by the y. So we're going to move this 3x, this whole term, over to the other side. So we're just going to, it's added, it's positive, so we're going to subtract 3x from both sides. Alright, over here, this 3x minus 3x is going to cancel, and so on this side we just have left 2y. Alright, and then over here we have 12 minus 3x. We cannot combine those. Again, this term does not have an x, this term does have an x, and so we can't actually combine them. We can't simplify that, and so we just write it down exactly as it is. So 12 minus 3x. Alright, we're almost done. Remember, y has to be all by itself. Right now, it still has that 2 with it. So the way that you get rid of multiplication, right, remember 2y means 2 times y, is by dividing. So we're just going to divide both sides by 2. And you know that you divide by 2 and not by y because that's what's going to get you y by itself. Alright, like usual, we're going to have something cancel out. So those 2's are going to cancel out. And on the left side, we're just going to have y left by itself equals 12 divided by 2 is 6. And then 3 divided by 2, we can change that to 1.5 if you want to, but I'm lazy, so I like to just write improper fractions, so I'm just going to say 3 halves, x. So your final answer here is exactly what we have written right here. Y equals 6 minus 3 halves x, or if you would prefer, y equals 6 minus 1.5x, or 1.5x. But we don't really like to use mixed numbers because they end up not being very useful in higher level math.